We're joined now by Herschel Walker. He's a Trump-endorsed Republican U.S. Senate candidate in the great state of Georgia, and, by the way, a Heisman Trophy winner. Herschel, congratulations on your Senate run. Congratulations on the top-level endorsement of the former President 45. You're running for Senate. What has it been like for you so far? What's the environment been?
You know, the environment been great. You know, the people has been real receptive to it, and that's what makes me happy, because that's the only reason I'm running, is the people absolutely love it. They're behind me. They're pushing me to run. And I must say, it's something the farthest thing I ever thought of in my mind to do. You know, I never thought I'd ever get into politics like this. And, you know, years ago, I probably wouldn't have, you know, because I thought people in Washington was people that should be great leaders, and they should be people that I'm going to follow. And then after I saw some of the things going on in this country, and I was sitting back just watching and not saying that much at the time, but then all of a sudden I started thinking about what I always talk about, and that's sacrifice. And what I always talk about is giving for others and all this. And yet I'm sitting back when I see the state of Georgia going down the wrong path. They're doing things that I disagree with. They're doing so much that a lot of people disagree with. And I said, I got to be the voice for the voiceless. At least maybe I can speak out and let people hear it. And that's the reason I decided to run.
You know, Herschel, we rolled some video yesterday of Larry Elder, a black candidate running for governor of California, being egged by a white woman with a monkey mask, and it's just horrifying for us to see. And I made the point, I said, okay, there's Larry Elder, he's a black conservative, and he's being egged. What would happen if it were a black liberal? What would happen if it were, say, Al Sharpton or Barack Obama in the same situation? I'm guessing the media would be apoplectic about it. It'd be George Floyd 10 times over. What are your thoughts when you see that? And what is it like being a black conservative running for office?
Well, you're exactly right. If it was vice versa, it would have been such a big deal, and it would have been all racism and all this different things like that. But because this happened, you know, people just sort of wanted it to pass. But that's what I'm standing up against. It's against the law. Somebody should have done something. Somebody should have said, no, this is not what we're going to do. And, you know, and I think that's what should have been done. And that's the reason I said that I want to run. I'm tired of people sitting on the sideline not saying anything, when there's a lot of people that sort of, just as you were saying there, and myself and many other people saying, wait a minute, she's something that should have been done. There was no way she should have done that, and I don't know what else you can say. You know, she was wrong. She was totally wrong. She should have been arrested. Something should have happened. But and that's the way it's got to be. I don't care whether you're conservative, whether you're liberal, whoever you are. You break the law, you should go to jail. You should be punished. And I think that's one reason people got to now get on the right side. And what I mean by that is holding people responsible. That's the way we get. That's the way we get this country back together, is holding people responsible.
Speaking of that, Herschel, I know you weighed in. I follow each other on Twitter. I know you're weighing in. You're concerned about, absolutely concerned about the 100 or so Americans still stuck in Afghanistan, but the 13 service members that lost their life, given the way Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. Give us your thoughts on that, if you don't mind.
Well, you know, it's sad. It's sad because, you know, there's no doubt, probably every American feel that we should leave. But how can you leave with the military first when you still got Americans, and you still got a lot of your friends that you gave your word to? You still got them left over there in a country that literally hate us. That's what people don't get. Those people over there do not like us at all. We had so many people that died. So many people died trying to get to where we're at today. And I think we've taken a big step backwards right now. And you watch how you know, they cozy up to the Taliban right now. Everyone cozy up. They're great people. You know, they're business-like. You know, when they start saying words like that, but yet you look at what they've done to America when they at 9/11. You know, we're right around the corner from 9/11. Did people forget about that? That's something I will never forget. There was so many people that was died in a country that's free. America is free, and that's one thing. That's the reason that they have to put me in Washington, because I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up, and I think when I stand up, they're going to see a lot of other people stand up and say, no, we're not going to take this no more. We're not going to take it sitting down. We're going to have a voice that says, guys, we're not going to take this. You're wrong. You know, I have a right to say what I want to say without being harmed. I got a right to say I want to protect this military, because these people put their lives on the line, not just their lives, their family lives on the line for this country, and yet to do what we did in Afghanistan and to lead the people over there who's running for their lives. These are mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers of Americans that's running for their life. And then you think about people you gave your word to that help you out. Do they not think these people are going to be punished? Do they not think they're going to be sacrificed? You know, there's a lot more than just, oh, we're just going to pick up and leave. You can't just do that. Those people do not like America. I hate to tell you, they do not like America.
You know what, Herschel, you got to stop making so much darn sense, because you're going to get way too many votes. You're going to sweep the field in Georgia. Herschel Walker running for U.S. Senate in the state of Georgia. We wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Hey, thank you, and thank you for having me on. God bless.
And you too, Herschel. Thank you.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.